Yeah, guys, that's right, we back. We are back with a vengeance. We are back with a vengeance. Waiting on my show partner to get here. Yeah, take care of some essential business.
Listen, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sneezing.
Yeah, right. Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming on in. Hello, Claudia. Welcome. How you doing? Our day one. Lady Muse, if you're out there, you definitely our day one as well. Claudia, I just keep looking at that beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing. So just so grateful for it. And I have that heart that I, keep by the desk. So I think about you all the time. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, we are waiting for some of our guests to come on in and some of our viewers to catch up with us. We know that we have been in your life for a week, so we apologize for that. Anyway, welcome to another episode of Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking, CMCT. I am your host, Troy Skinner, and seated next to me is my amazing co-host, the man with the plan, the only one that can stand in the face of anything.
Antonio D.
Antonio D. No doubt. So yeah, guys, we've had a full week of being away from you guys. I'm gonna tell you, I was in LA spending time with friends and taking time off to get caught back up with those who I loved in Los Angeles and I haven't seen in a while. So it's hard sometimes to travel, prepare, spend all that time, and then also keep the show going. So it just made sense for us to just take the week off and to get things situated. But we're back. And we got a lot to talk about today, and we're going to have a great session. So we're waiting for some more people to come up in here so we can get started. If you know anything about today's topic, basically is, are you a failure at relationships? Are you a failure at relationships? And we're not just talking about, husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend. We're talking about family relationships, friendship relationships, relationships in general. Because usually here at the show, that's what we kind of talk about in regards to people working along with each other, relationships of all caliber. And
with your teacher,
yeah,
with your neighbor,
yeah,
your brother, your sister,
yeah, even your dog.
Yeah,
What's going on, Scott? Scott, it was great seeing you this weekend. Anybody who was out there and came to see me, man, thank you to everybody who had the time to come out and see me and to spend some time and to reflect and get caught back up. So yeah, so tonight's topic is, are you a failure at relationships? Are you a failure? And that's this is a cue into Whiplash. Whiplash is scene when Fletcher's telling him, are you upset? And he's like, I'm upset.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the fuck Whiplash is.
Oh, you'll see it one day. And you'll appreciate it because it is a film that's very big on accountability. It's big on relationship. It's big on the choices that we make in life. All of that stuff.
I might watch it.
Oh, by the way, I showed an advanced viewing, in a sense, of Two Killers in the Car to Scott. And he wanted me to tell you, he said, you killed that shit.
Thanks, Scott.
He said he's so natural. He was watching it and he got so excited because he was just like, you're natural, like Joyce, he's natural. Look at this.
Man, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And that smile is genuine, Scott, because
it is. Yeah, I don't smile.
It's very genuine because he takes things very, very much to heart, And so, we go through the color process. We start that this week. And then sound. So you saw a version with the color's not the best and the sound's not the best, but you got the essence and the sense of what the short is about. And so we'll be talking more about that once we get close to completion on that. And anyone who's interested in helping to support CMCT and our endeavors in regards to what we got going on, we would greatly appreciate it. You can always go to our link tree. And if you're on YouTube, you can see it, but on Instagram, all you have to do is go to either one of our links, and the link tree will direct you to how you can support us to keep us going in regards to what we have going on. Still, once again, we are waiting to get back into the studio. All of the things that they got going on over there is going to make it a lot better. That's kind of what we're waiting for. But right now, we're in our second bat cave. What's going on, Dominique? How you doing, man? Yeah, so we are very interested in what's going to come down the pike once we finish this short and once we get back into the studio. You know, so we're very excited about that. All right. Let's see here.
You're really gonna make me retype this?
Got a lot going on. Yeah. Oh, you sent that to me?
Okay. Yeah. I gotta retype it though.
Yeah, it is, Scott. It is. And Scott, more than likely, will end up being in LA. I was just told today by my co-partner of the festival that I have. So we'll probably screen it there. So anybody that's in LA or will be in LA at that time, you may want to be a part of what we got going on, which will be the Hollywood Film Festival. And once I get an official word of it, we will probably screen and debut our short there. So
You might.
Yeah. Yeah. You might get to meet Antonio in the flesh.
Depends on how I feel that day.
Depends on how you feel. The little diva-esque.
Yeah, we'll see.
Celebrity-esque. Speaking about celebrities.
I do love celebrities.
Right. Speaking on celebrities, what are we talking about in regards to relationships? Are you a failure at relationships? What do you think about that, Antonio? Failing at relationships.
I fail at relationships all the time.
Okay. All right.
Not really.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I think
Hey, Gaff.
I have the patience required for relationships.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Of all sorts.
Do you desire relationships? Because
I'd like to be alone.
Okay.
And I know, that's a thing today. Everybody thinks they're an introvert and shit like that. But,
Well, the phrase is always built like that. I'm built different. That type of thing, right?
well, whatever to those niggas, because I'm actually someone I didn't speak, and anybody who knows me from 5th grade all the way up until about 12th grade, I did not speak at school unless I had to talk in class.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't talk to people. I sat at the same lunch table every day
Mm-hmm.
and just stared.
Mm-hmm.
Did not do anything. I didn't
Observe.
Yeah,
Observe.
I just watched people.
Yeah.
People would come to the table and talk to me, and I would just stare at them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't speak.
Yeah.
So I am someone who is actually, I guess you could say antisocial.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably even say introverted.
Okay.
In a way.
Okay. And is that a bad thing?
Not for me.
Okay.
For other people, maybe.
Right. So what I've learned in relationships is where we make most of our mistakes as human beings is we go into relationships thinking that we're going to get people to conform to us. And I think we spend a lot of time doing that primarily because we're used to the family form of environment. When you're a family, you're in an environment where you have to get along in a way. So you're dealing with different personalities, and with that comes a lot of pushback. People like, I can't stand it. That's how that person treats me, and this and that and that and that. Well, you have to first learn how to treat yourself first off. And you have to know exactly what it is that you need from others as much as you need to be able to give. If you know a lot more about yourself when it comes to relationships, you're much more fair in how you realize how people receive you, how they deal with you, the energy that they give you. But when you don't know, when you have a whimsical mindset, and maybe you go by the way a TV show is, and you feel like, oh, that should be my relationship, right? Like in my era, it was Little House on the Prairie and the Waltons, and people look at the Cosby Show and they feel like, oh, that's how my family should be, because that's the power of media.
Yeah, it makes people desire to be like what they see.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they believe normalcy to be.
Mm-hmm.
Is what they're constantly God damn, where are my words today?
Take your time, brother. We got
What they are consuming.
Yes. Yes. And so we're programmed. That's what TV programming means.
Yep.
We're programmed to think and to see things. You know, the thing that was always interesting to me was once I found out the push that made diamonds, which is actually a worthless rock.
Yeah.
To make diamonds the thing to display,
to give it value,
and to lock a relationship. You know, De Beers. They have this documentary. If you ever go on YouTube, punch in De Beers, DeBeers, De Beers, and De Beers is basically a jewelry company that in the '60s made it where diamond gifting was the way to lock in a marriage. But before that, it wasn't a diamond that locked in the marriage. You know, it was the thing of they pushed that programming into people for men to spend millions and millions of dollars. I mean, to literally almost bankrupt themselves. If you're a middle class guy, and of course the carat and the amount of the what the ring is, you know, you're paying that off like you're paying off a wedding. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, rather than just saying. I think the to me the best engagement would be like, yo, here's a house. let's you know what I'm saying, here's a house. You know, not a rock that would, you know, impress her and her friends.
Well, holy matrimony versus happy matrimony.
Okay.
Right. Motherfuckers think that relationships are about being happy and having fun and I don't know. Whatever, you know, we all know what the fuck we see on social media and these movies, Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
You know, all of that kind of shit. And that's not what relationships are about, man. Relationships are about finding balance. And, excuse me, balance don't necessarily mean happiness.
Right.
It just means that you found a way to make this palatable.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
For as long as you choose for it to be. And or as long as you choose for that interaction to be necessary. Excuse me. And I think that's an issue, man. I think it's a huge problem. Especially, I'm you know, most of the time I'm speaking for our community. I really don't care about other people, other people's communities as much as I care about ours. But the world today in general, man, our communities are self-imploding because everyone is constantly comparing to
other communities.
Not even to other communities, but what they see on TV, man. And these magazines and social media couples on YouTube.
Yeah, that's bad.
All of that shit, man. You can't keep comparing yourself to the rest of the world. That's not a good measuring stick for the success of your own interpersonal relationships.
With anyone. It's very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy because...
Unless I do it.
That's the exclusion. And the exception. What it is about relationships, what do you think, okay, in regards to like long-standing relationships, like if you have a friendship, say for instance from childhood that's lasted this long, what kept it going? What do you think? Why is it that it matured and it got to a point where it was something where it's got tremendous, because you know maturity, it's value. Right? We say that, you know, it's just like even in business. If you have something that matures, the value should increase in it. Right. Friendships like that, you know, sure. I have some friendships that are, I mean, I just lost a friend, you know, 40 years. And he helped me get through high school. But, you know, throughout the years, he was still a valuable part of my life. What do you think does that?
What makes that?
Yeah, so enriched, you know?
I think two people who are not trying to change one another, man. They're not even necessarily compromising, but it's, I see you for who you are and I allow you to move in that space.
God forgive Antonio. It's sinuses, but you know, we've been dealing with that as well. That's part of the reason why sometimes our shows have been preempted. Jonathan Dominique said, different strokes work for different folks, but I do agree with everything you were saying. Yeah, I mean, but see, the problem becomes this, Jonathan. When people say, take me as I am, you have to be the person that's big enough to say, you know, we gel on this, but we don't gel on that. And so you have to have a hierarchy in regards to your friendships so that way you know where that person fits into your life. It's very important. You know, you're a big supporter of everybody. It's insane, you know. But at the same time, it's a thing of like, how deep are those friendships? If you really need someone in the middle of the night, are they going to be there? You know?
First rule of relationships, communication. Glad you said that.
I agree. Who is that? Lady Muse?
Mexican Eric.
Mexican Eric,
you know
how
what I'm
you
saying?
doing,
Shout
brother?
out Dallas.
Yes, sir.
Nah, man, communication.
It's key.
I think that starts with patience.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have patience, you don't even have communication.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I won't go into details, man, but you know, even me and you and Eric recently, man,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that the patience that was necessary for all parties involved for us to sit down and work through the differences
Mm-hmm.
that you know, that we experienced, man.
Mm-hmm.
There was a great deal of patience involved for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and without that patience, man, we wouldn't have even, you know, we some fighting niggas.
Well, yeah, listen.
Would have never been able to.
Well, and especially when it comes to men, you guys out there start to relegate your emotions. Like a lot of men, because maybe you were raised by single women or you were raised in households with a lot of women, you tend to take more.
Or you're weak.
Or you're weak.
You follow what you see.
Yeah. And you don't know how to relegate your emotions. You don't know how to navigate through them. I've always said that, you know, you give it enough time to where you're not feeling what you would feel in that extreme moment. Especially me, I'm an empath. Everything I do is off emotion in a sense. Right. But that doesn't help me if I need to have actions done out of common sense. You know, I mean, because I've learned in what you say, you feel what you say it in the moment you meant it. And
I agree.
But that's just a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like we always talk about this in combat. Like I may want to hit you with the hardest punch, but that doesn't mean that it's necessary for that moment, right? And so you give yourself time in which to relegate and to make sure that you're navigating correctly. And I think we live in a society where emotions, because I feel, you know, you got this gender, you know, identity thing. If I feel like a tree today, I'm a tree.
Well, especially this is the era of immediate gratification.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's only getting worse as, you know, as technology, the advancement of technology rapidly is moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
To that, people's patience is highly lacking. Yeah. I think that it is almost non-existent. Yeah. In most interactions on a daily basis. You know, most people are not even giving one another the time of day. Number one, immediate gratification in this world where everything is at the click of a button. But then also everyone is under the illusion that they have more options than they actually do. True. So they're not taking the time to appreciate, you know, that which is right there, right in front of them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know? Moments. Yep. Moments. Yeah, I agree. I said this to one of my friends. You know, we went to the top of this little hill that he has by his house, and you know, we were just looking over the landscape, and that's one of the things that stood out to me that this past weekend was like, man, just the moment being with somebody you care about in this environment. You're not doing anything, you're not buying anything, you're not spending money, you're not doing any activity particularly. You're just standing there talking with each other, resonating over something very simple, which is a landscape. Jonathan Majors, guys. Jonathan Majors. Why is this important? Because what's happening to this brother is happening to him because of the white woman. Very true. Very true. But his relationship is now affecting his business relationships. So his love relationship, which is something that I'm very adamant about when it comes to people in the industry. You know what I mean? People of any caliber of business. I'm always like, get your work done. Right. Get your work done. You know, I follow suit like this. I say God first, then your career, then you, then your family, friends, and loved ones. You can't take care of yourself if you don't take care of your spiritual aspect. You can't take care of your spiritual aspect. You can't take care of yourself. You can't take care of yourself. You can't take care of your work.
can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your family, friends, and loved ones. You gotta have that type of balance, some kind of strategy,
Right.
some kind of protocols. And if you're in a relationship with someone that is, there's always flags. You know what I mean? There's always flags. Whenever people dictate to me and tell me what their relationship is like, and they'll slip up and tell you something. There you go. That's strike
something
one.
that they never talked about.
Yeah, strike one right there. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, we did this. Well, that was strike one right there. How come you didn't see that? You didn't want to see it. Or you were so caught up emotionally you didn't see it.
Well, romance is highly romanticized.
Well, listen, it was funny because I was reading this one little blurb that somebody had said online. This girl, on Facebook, she said, women are not like that, where not every woman nowadays wants a man with money, blah, blah, blah. I was like, one of the greatest songs that was ever made in the 80s was by a woman called Gwen Guthrie, and the song was called Nothing Going On But the Rent. Okay, you ever heard that? And she goes, there's no romance without finance.
There's not, because love don't pay the bills.
Right, and that's exactly what she says in the song. So to hear that, it's funny when there's women that go, oh, well, not every woman is like that. So you would be with a bummy man?
That's all you got to, man, look. There's an easy series of questions that you can ask to get a woman to tell the truth. I know that not all women are liars, guys.
Right.
Not all women are much of anything, right?
Right.
So all of you think that you are different, but so many of us are so much more alike than we're willing to admit. All you women who think you're unique, look at the person next to you. You know what I'm saying? Tap them on the shoulder, because none of you are all that different, man. By nature, women are hypergamous. No woman wants to live in a world, in an environment where there's not one man she can depend on, where there's not one man that offers her something it is that she desires. And not just sex. I mean, overall, we're talking about resources.
Stability, absolutely.
Stability, security.
Yeah, support.
It's so unreasonable and baffling when I hear women speak this way today, because it's not true. None of it is true. It doesn't even make sense, man.
A lot of programming, which is kind of what we're always talking about. Anyway, guys, so listen, Marvel actor Jonathan Majors was dropped by his management and PR team following assault and harassment charges. If you're not aware of what's going on with this brother, this has been an ongoing issue in regards to the balance of his career, what was going to happen. They put out some texts, wasn't the most flattering texts. They did not exonerate him.
They weren't.
But one of the things that I've learned, absolutely, about anything in regards to publicity is if you can't make it seem as if it's cut and dry, that ambiguity will rise again.
To that, like the Muse said a moment ago, that, where is it at? Everyone has a platform, good or bad, but the court of public opinion always wins.
True indeed. Which is why you have to learn a sense of avoidance. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there were red flags.
Well, number one, it was a white bitch.
Back to that. Yep.
That's number one.
Yep.
Number two, it was a rich white bitch. So obviously she would be a little entitled.
Yes, absolutely. Well, she's entitled anyway because she's America's princess. Yeah. White women, you guys have to know this. Yeah, you got to know this. And then they were raised by fathers that gave them everything.
Well, they were raised by fathers that looked like the winners.
Absolutely.
That looked like the people.
Absolutely.
Who were in charge.
Did we talk about that before? We talked about that before. Yeah. I don't know why people are not getting that.
When the men in your life resemble those who are in power.
Absolutely. It gives you a sense of entitlement.
Yeah. You can't help but to think that you have it your way.
Yeah. So she wanted his phone.
Sure.
She went and snatched his phone. And maybe he snatched her neck. Like, bitch, you grabbed my phone? Don't know. We don't know for sure
Couldn't
yet.
say. We weren't there.
we weren't there. But anyway, it's getting really bad for him because, and mind you, we're not talking about the brother because of, you know, his issues is bad. We're using him as an example to help everyone who's watching to know that this actually could have been prevented.
Number one, by, you know,
not messing with a white woman.
Not fucking with a white bitch.
Okay, we'll give it that. But also paying attention to the flags, because I'm pretty sure that they were there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they were there day one. You know what I mean? Day one they were there. Why does this even happen? Sorry, guys.
Oh,
yeah.
And shit.
Yeah.
It'll catch back up.
Yep.
Well, let's see. Marvel actor Jonathan Majors was dropped by his management and PR team following assault and harassment charges.
Thanks, Fernando.
Because he was fucking with a white bitch.
Yep.
The actor has been charged with assault, attempted assault. How you get charged with assault and attempted assault? Harassment and aggravated harassment. So aggravated harassment and assault. This nigga. Oh, are we putting those links on there?
No, no,
okay. Marvel actor Jonathan Majors has been dropped by a talent manager, Entertainment 360, following a domestic dispute that resulted in his arrest.
Okay, so real quick, notice he, like, a lot of people go back and forth, but they were like, "Oh man, they always turn their back on you." No, this has been almost a month, right?
Yeah.
They held off. They held off, and usually when they're holding off, it's because they're waiting to see.
Getting cooked up.
Yeah, they're waiting to see what's going on in regards to the incident, and there was obviously not enough to make them feel like this is a good. You know, they're jumping ship. Right. That's that phrase. They're jumping ship because the ship is headed towards a glacier. Sorry, brother.
You're good. Domestic dispute that resulted in his arrest. Deadline reported that Majors was dropped by his longtime managers 3 weeks after the star was arrested in New York on March 25th for an altercation involving a 30-year-old woman who was taken to the hospital with minor injuries to her head and neck. I believe that this was a little over a month ago, so that said 3 weeks afterwards, so they've been dropped.
Yeah.
The publication claims that the decision to part ways with the actor was due to his personal behavior.
Wow.
According to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, the 33-year-old was charged with assault, attempted assault, harassment, and aggravated harassment. Alongside losing management, Majors' public relations firm, the lead company that represents the likes of Will Smith and Emma Stone, quietly parted ways with him last month, according to Variety. So yeah. Representatives from both Entertainment 360 and the lead company did not respond immediately to BuzzFeed News' request for comment. Immediately after Majors' arrest, the U.S. Army pulled its Be All You Can Be ad campaign starring the actor over deep concerns around the allegations. While Mr. Majors is innocent until proven guilty, prudence dictates that we will pull our ads until the investigation into these allegations is complete, a spokesperson said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter. Majors, who recently starred opposite Michael B. Jordan in the third installment of the boxing franchise Creed, was scheduled to attend the Met Gala on May 1st as a guest of Italian fashion house Valentino. According to Deadline, he will no longer be going in a mutually agreed decision. In a previous statement to BuzzFeed News, Majors' criminal defense attorney Priya Chaudhry maintained that the actor was completely innocent and is probably the victim. Provably. Excuse me. Completely innocent and is provably the victim of an altercation with a woman he knows. Chaudhry added that video evidence and witness testimony would exonerate her client, and she expected charges to be dropped imminently. All of the relevant evidence to his charges is said to be with the DA's office and will not be made public. I don't think that's how that works. Well, yeah, I guess evidence. Never mind. But there will be paperwork. The unidentified alleged victim claims Major struck her with an open hand, causing substantial pain and a laceration behind her ear, according to the complaint. She also alleges that he put his hand on her neck, causing bruises and substantial pain. What does it mean that he put his hand on her neck?
He's holding her back, seems like.
Put his hand on her neck and caused, bruises and substantial pain.
Yeah.
Well, he is this buff nigga now.
But, remember it went back to they charged him with strangulation. So now they're not even saying that no more. You know.
Well, didn't she like say there's some shit?
Yeah,
or
he did
whatever?
not. It did not happen.
Yeah.
You know. Mm-hmm.
See what happens when you fuck with a white bitch? Let me know. Majors remains represented by talent agency WME, who did not return BuzzFeed News' request for comment on his client. Majors was released from custody on his own recognizance.
Yep.
God damn, I'm fucking up tonight.
Yes.
Majors was released from custody on his own recognizance with a limited order of protection. The actor is expected to appear before a judge on May 8th.
Yeah. So, listen. Jonathan Dominique said they probably were red flags, but sometimes we love a person so much we don't pay much attention to those flags to them. Yeah, but at the same time, what do you hold valuable in your life?
Your own freedom, your reputation. You know.
Yeah, because love is an emotion. Love is something that it comes and goes in waves. Romantic love is the most. It's something that I never forget. Agent Smith said in the Matrix, only a human can create something as insipid as love. He says that in the Matrix Revolutions. Only a human can create something as insipid as love. It's a very powerful phrase because we put love.
Hell of a concept.
Well, yeah, but we put love as this thing that it's actually you can't really meet the standards of it, because love, if you say love, depending on which type of love, you have 3 different loves. You have phileo love, which is brotherly love. You have eros love, which is sexual love, and then you have agape, which is godly love. And most people fall within the eros and the phileo. They don't know what a godly love is. They don't understand what that means. The true love definition is a sacrificial love. It's a thing of, I'm going to compromise my selfish desires and values to make something happen for you. I may have this thought frame, but because
I fuck with you,
I'm going to move it to the side. That doesn't mean that you compromise yourself to detriment. That's stupid.
No. It means that whatever your attraction is to that person, you value it, and for that reason, you will help them in any given situation.
Absolutely, but there is a level of
within reason.
We talk about this all the time too. There's a level of respect that comes with that. There has to be. You respect that person's actions, their thoughts, their being, their interaction or how they deal. Because it's really easy to see how someone's treating someone else and to understand that likelihood of them treating you like that is open. That's available. That could happen. Somebody has something to say?
Mexican Eric was talking some of that good shit tonight.
Okay, let's hear it.
Says it means rough sex. They were smashing. She wanted a relationship. He didn't. It became a domestic dispute. Lady Muse says the streets are saying that he was cut from Marvel and will be recasted. Yeah, that happened over the weekend, and the reason being is because this stuff was going to drop on Monday. Insiders be knowing a lot of this stuff, man. I mean, just the people that are around, Yeah, people don't want to admit it sometimes because they feel like they have this. The thing about celebrities, and I learned this personally, is that people have their perception of who they see you to be. I've gotten into it many times with people as an acting coach because people say, okay, they see me a certain way. The downside is a lot of times people see qualities in you that remind them of someone that they care about. Yep. Right? So you may remind them of an uncle, a brother, their dad, their cousin, and their sister. And here it is, you can't live up to that expectation of what they put on you. Yeah. Because as we all leave outside of our homes, we're always looking for people in our lives to fill different voids, right? That's created because when you're not with your family, who you've gone tooth and nail through stuff with, you get out in the world, you're alone pretty much. Yeah. And family will fall out and still the very next day or very next moment, they got each other's back. Gotta show up. Yeah. And so when you get out into the world, now it's hard to find that. Yeah, relationships that you're creating for sexual and or for romantic, and
friendships that you're creating. I've always learned, and here at the show, we always give you guys means and ways to help to build certain things for yourself. But I've always looked at it as word and deed go hand in hand. Because it's like a lot of times when you see women or men being abused in a relationship, whether it's psychologically or physically, the love thing is always thrown. I love you, or I love this person, so that's why I ain't left. And it's like, yeah, but they beating the shit out of you, and they're smacking you around, or they're talking crazy. Like we've seen people that we've counseled, or we've given word to, or the word you like to use, I've been using that, charged people to hold themselves accountable on how people treat them. Right? Because it's like if someone's treating you like shit, and you know they're treating you like shit, how much do you value yourself? And I think that's where the issue lies.
Well, it's also them not understanding the value of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
People, again, romanticize so much about the human interaction that they can get lost in the shuffle, and become doormats and, overused, overabused.
What do you think causes that?
I think that's desire. Because at a certain point, you really can't blame it on anything else. I want this to be a certain way, and I'm fighting for it to be that way, rather than allowing it to be exactly what it is. So I think that's just whatever their desire is. They want something that may not exist. It may not even be an option. Again, when you romanticize things, you're already in a world of delusion.
Yeah, right. It's whimsical.
Yeah.
Jonathan Dominique said, I agree with you, but notice where one spouse has neglected taking care of themselves, that they are so engulfed with the other person, especially if one spouse is treating the other spouse unfairly. When it is time for that spouse to walk away, they find it difficult to walk away, especially if they are being treated unfairly.
It's change, because humans don't like change. Yeah,
they don't like discomfort and they don't like change. But at the same time, that falls back on that person's selfishness of, I've seen people say, well, I didn't leave because I invested a lot of time in it. Well, the time that you're telling yourself that you need to fix it is the time you should have left. Because you have to see that there is an end game to anything. And like I said, the key is to understand reciprocation, not just in word, I love you, but in deed. You know what I mean? Nobody loves anybody if they're smacking the shit out of you.
That person might love it.
Unless then they got to be honest with themselves and say that. You know what I mean?
They might love me.
Yeah. I mean, they're like being tied up and whipped, and okay.
Yeah, well,
you got to be honest with yourself, and I think a lot of times people aren't. Like I said, we use that Jonathan Majors thing to show how much he's losing, because he hasn't even lost everything.
Oh, they're not done. This is just getting started. Right.
There was another article that I had read that he wanted Daphne. You'll find this one seriously funny, because she knows I love Otis Redding and I want to play Otis Redding. They were going to have Jonathan Majors play Otis Redding, and a whole bunch of other roles too. So, but it's all stuff just to build more of the fire of what Jonathan Majors is the topic of discussion.
This nigga shouldn't have did it.
Yeah.
Mexican Eric said, shit, my biological family is all, what have you done for me lately? So I only take care of the people in my house, because blood is not always thicker than water.
Very true.
And Lady Muse says, love and abuse cannot exist. Or coexist, excuse me.
Yeah, because abuse, anytime someone's abusing you, they're taking out their own personal desires against you.
Sure.
It is not.
I think that's a human thing to do. It's just, if you don't set the boundary, I'm not saying you kind of get what's coming to you, but at a certain point, again, you're not under the protection of your parents and loved ones 24/7. At some point you do have to speak up for yourself. And if you don't know how to, you need to identify that.
Yeah.
Elsewise, again, at a certain point, man, it's not the rest of the world's fault.
Right. That you felt.
You do got to take accountability on your own personal development. Yeah.
When even family and close relatives can abuse you, you know what I mean? A lot of us watching the show and experiencing the show, even this weekend I've talked to several people, and they're just very upfront about the abuse that they suffered. And as you get older, you're more open about these things. I'm a very big proponent of therapy, and I had mentioned this to somebody yesterday. It's tough for people to admit that they need, or someone that they love needs therapy. It's tough. Some people get offended with the word therapy.
Well, that's taboo in the Black community, and we also attribute it to
mental illness.
Yeah, for a long time we attributed to that, and Black people do not like to be considered insane and maniacal.
Yeah. No, so guys, listen, when it comes to relationships, okay, so the topic of the show is, am I bad at relationships? Am I, horrible at relationships? Because some people can be. Do you believe people can be horrible at relationships?
Sure.
What do you think attributes to that? That makes them bad at relationships?
Not understanding patience. Not understanding patience.
Do you think they were taught that maybe on how not to be good friends, or not to be good spouses, or not to be good lovers, or not to be?
I think in a sense it does start, with your early development, but then also, people are somewhat pre-coded to be a certain way. And I know that there are some things that are hereditary, some behaviors and so forth, but it does begin in their early development and who they're around, what relationships are they seeing, in real life and on television. It's a huge mixture, man. I don't think I could just
narrow it down.
Narrow it down to anything in particular, but understanding, understanding of how fragile the other people are that we deal with. It's not just our ego, it's not just our heart, it's not just our feelings. It's the other person too. And
well, see, understanding to me is a part of the love concept.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Because even the scripture teaches that love is kind, love is understanding, love is patient, love is all these things. There's a list of the things that it says love is, which to me boils up into the simplification of sacrifice. Because in that moment, you may not want to feel like loving someone.
Right.
But the sacrifice is kind of what makes it work. The fact that, okay, you know what, I feel like, but that can be also a problem, because what happens is now you're loving and loving and loving and loving and loving and loving and loving, right?
You feel like you're getting, bad end of the deal or something.
Yeah, you're not being appreciated, right?
Understand, all relationships are transactional.
Yes, absolutely.
All relationships are extremely transactional. We get lost in the shuffle with that as well, because people are a little bit greedy. People are a little bit greedy. A lot of people aggrandize the value it is that they bring, to different relationships and interactions.
Or take for granted.
They do. They take the other person for granted.
So what do we have to do? What do you think? Let's help our audience understand how to become better at if there's someone out there listening right now who they realize that the relationships, and mind you, listen, you don't have to be that person where you got a lot of friends.
Right.
Like people get that twisted, because the word friend in itself is overused.
Well, the people who are like that are people who want to be loved very badly. Who want everybody to like them. And that stems from quite a few different things.
Yeah.
But, I think that what would help to me is the ability to be patient, to be more than patient, not foolish, not accepting of just anything. But
so let's get clarity on that.
Well, yeah, so when you have a decent amount of patience, there should be purpose behind it. Why am I being patient? for me and all of my friendships and relationships, patience, the patience that I have and that I offer, the grace that I give to others is typically so that we can have a conversation about what it is that we're dealing with and what we're going through right now. You know, if you can't even sit down and talk like, you know, like a civilized people about these issues that you're having and experiencing, your relationship, to me, a relationship is not worth it at that point, because that means that there's no if there's no room for communication, what else is there room for?
So you're big, because one of the things I always say is that in any relationship, I'm about building.
Yeah.
I'm about building. Listen, man, you know, we hey, what's going on, Shock? We a bunch of my acting students, you know, we haven't had a formal acting class in almost 3 years since the pandemic. And we all met up in the park and everything, and a lot of them hadn't seen each other in a while. And you know, I use your word, charged them to make sure that they get to. I love you, man. You know, so if you know anything about me, I'm I'm very specific on who I deal with and how I deal, and so because I understand how we all kind of affect each other and impress upon each other. You want to be around people who build you. And that's why I'm saying, I'm coming off of what I was just saying to you.
On that.
Yeah, because we probably need to, so the audience understands what to do in true friendship. Like, you know, it's people have acquaintances, they have people they smoke with, drink with, party with, have a good time with. But if you can't sit in a room and talk about stuff that's valuable, that enriches each other, you're not really in good friendships, in my opinion. And it's just an opinion.
To even have people where you could be just around one another and not much needs to be said at all at times. You know, even that is a high level of communication. You know, maybe we're both having one of those days, but I'm not as annoyed by you as I am by the rest of the world.
Right. Which we've had.
Yeah,
you and I in the conversation.
Just fucking chill, man. I'm doing what I'm doing, you doing what you doing. You know what I'm saying? And there's no friction. And I don't know if that's a male trait or, you know, I don't know if women do that. Maybe y'all do, maybe y'all don't. But, you know what I'm saying?
Fill us in. Is it possible, Daph, are you watching? Are there moments when you and Janessa can be in the same room, say nothing, and get stuff done? Because like I said, it's about building. Right? And so in a intimate relationship, man, woman, woman and man, and are there moments where because you're having a horrible day, you're able to be with each other and be in the same room and not hold it against each other that you're not saying something. You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't saying nothing? You know, that type of thing. You know, is that something that exists in your relationships? As you know, the people that you are and the people that you're with does that exist where you have your day where they can already know you got stuff you're going through? Well, I don't need to press on them. If they need to talk, they'll come to me. You know, but we can be in the same room and I don't feel it's against me. You know what I mean? Like, I've never felt that. Like that. I've never had a moment where I felt like if you were in a different space, you holding it against me.
I'd be a different person.
Right. Yeah. No. No, because you know, like you said, without words, you can feel that. Okay, this person's going through something. Hey, if you need to talk, I'm here. But otherwise, man, we're moving through our day.
Right.
You know, I think everybody would want that unless they live in toxicity and they're used to toxicity. Because some people feel like we gotta argue no matter what, and it's like, no.
Some people, you know, I think a lot of people like to vent too.
Okay, let's talk about that.
And venting is okay. But why are you venting?
Right.
You know. And it could be because I'm a guy, but I'm this way across the board with all of the women in my life, man. If you're gonna vent, well, let's also talk about a solution, because obviously this is something that's a recurring issue for you. You know, I don't want you to come offload on me, and then I'm just supposed to keep that, and then you go right back to doing the same thing. You know, whatever it is that has you stuck in that cycle. You know, venting should be in preparation for solution. and prepare.
I agree, 100%.
Although there are people in your lives who will allow you to come and dump all of that onto them,
should you?
It's not anyone's job in your life to take on the caseload entirely of everything that you're feeling and dealing with others. Whether that be in work relationships, other personal relationships, and otherwise. It's kind of abusive.
It is.
Actually,
to
do that to other people. You got to understand how powerful your emotions are, how powerful and heavy it is, especially to the people that care about you. You want to also take into consideration that even if they're not empaths, so to speak, the people who care about you will be very empathetic towards you, regardless of how they are with other people. So, don't just vent without some sort of utility in mind. Something else has to come out of it other than this is my go-to person to come and tell them how shitty my day was and X, Y, Z, and I just want them to listen to it, and then I'm gonna go back and.
Well, that's when they should hire a therapist and sit there and go through that.
Sure.
Because even with me, I don't mind being there and giving someone advice or listening to what they got going on. That to me is an aspect of friendship. If you love somebody, you care about their well-being, what they're going through in that moment, for you to listen to them may be priceless. But if it's a consistent, I know when someone's looking to make me their therapist. Like I'm quick to do it. Right, you know what I'm saying? Because your time, if you don't know this, guys, your time is valuable and it's worth something. So, if you have a person that, like we said, is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, we know that that's madness, that's insanity. Yeah. And so I'm not going to be that
choice.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's absolute choice.
It is. But
I made that decision.
I never have a problem with people venting if there is going to be some solution.
Yep.
I agree with you 100% on that. Like I know if they're going to make a difference, and I learned this even as an acting coach and as a martial arts self-defense instructor, you can't complain to me that you're getting punched on your left side if you're not learning how to block.
I agree.
You got to get them guards up. Get them guards up. You know what I mean? Get them up. And so when it comes to something like what Jonathan Majors is going through, that to me is wholly preventable because he has to learn to put certain things first.
Right.
And you learn that in life, man. You learn, but I was always younger in mind where I would let nothing jeopardize my career in anything that I was doing, even the martial arts. I had
just vision.
Yeah.
Your vision is just as important as just about anyone else's, and especially if it's not negatively impacting others. Your work, your journey towards your vision. Can't say that for everybody. Right.
Why do you think? Well, Jonathan Dominique, you had said something, and guys, by the way, if this shuts off here for you guys who are watching, all of a sudden, out of the blue, it got down to a point where it was giving me an hour. But if it cuts off, I'm going to log back in, and we'll start the second segment of the show. But don't worry about it. But Jonathan Dominique brought it up, man. People want to be loved so much, or they want to love someone so much that they negate the responsibility of what they're here to do. Let's talk about that.
Well, I think that some people want to be loved so much that they forget that we have a link tree. You know what I'm saying? We do have a link tree. I won't lie to you. We got a link tree. And you can go to our link tree,
yes,
CMCT_show, and we got options on that page. You know what I mean?
No
we got options on that page. You guys can tip us on there. You can donate to our cause here. Yeah. To keep this show running smooth, and we're gonna need some new candles soon. These motherfuckers are burning. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, I really wanted to tell you guys that you can't want to be loved so much that you forget that we do have a link tree. You can also go there if you like. We do interviews.
Yes.
We can do pre-recorded interviews. We can also do live interviews. Yeah. That's $75, correct? If I remember correctly. Not to mention, you can also come to us for guidance and advice.
Yes.
We will not necessarily be offering you any sort of therapy or psychiatry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we'll do our best to help you break down what it is that you're going through and to help you work through it. Okay? So, you know, if you really want to be loved, honestly, always remember that we do have a link tree.
That's right.
CMCT _show.
We appreciate any and every donation, any and every comment.
Absolutely.
And follow us on YouTube. Help us with our algorithms. Follow us, like our videos. We have we've been fortunate, man. This is show 55, and we're moving up still. So, you guys, any type of support is greatly appreciated.
Absolutely,
for sure. So back with what we were saying. You know, it's all good. I'm glad you did that because I forget to do it sometimes. You know, that level of making sure that you have that appreciation in regards to how you're dealing with people, because some people want to vent,
right?
And they know they can call you in. But you know what? I think sometimes people become enablers in that. So you have to. Some people want the attention, so they let people vent to them.
Well, some people have. I believe it goes along with the Superman complex.
Yes.
You know, they believe it's their job to
save everybody,
to save everybody, and deal with you know, everything that others are going through, man.
Have you, as time has gone by in life, have you gotten to a point where you know who you will and who you won't?
I know who to hang up on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. It is what it is. You know,
or not pick up for.
Yeah,
right.
You know, and man, there's a shit ton of people who know that they can call me, especially if they're truly in need and you know, in a desperate situation, whatever that may be, or you know, maybe they're in shambles right now emotionally, and there's a few people now who I will hang up on. I'm getting better at it as I get older, man, and better understanding what it means for somebody to come in and expel that energy, you know, onto you and into you, man. Because what other people are going through, you know, the energy. I know a lot of people talk about energy, but you got to really know what you're talking about. That energy that you're receiving from someone who's having a terrible day. You know, we all know how it feels to be having a great day and somebody hits you up, and maybe they consistently hit you up, and all they ever have to talk about are negative things.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't feel good to you. It doesn't feel good to your spirit. It doesn't feel good really to much of anything that you're going through. So make sure that you are properly filtering, you know, these people. And setting up, you know, setting up different guidelines and defenses for yourself. Because caring for others starts with caring for who? It starts with caring for you.
Yeah.
You know, you can't help nobody if you haven't already helped yourself.
Right.
You know.
Big shot. Yeah, they doing a 2-minute countdown.
Shit.
Real quick before I re-log back in, guys. Big shout out to Derek Dominique. He was in a serious accident, man, and he's recuperating. He's alive, but you know, psychologically, you know, when
it's a lot.
You go through that. Yeah, we talked about
it's existential.
Yeah, so. If you know Derek Dominique is the composer for my film A New Life, and he's an amazing R&B artist, pop artist. And,
amazing artist in general.
Yeah, in general.
You know.
And so, Derek, we love you, man, and we're so sorry about your situation, but we know you'll overcome it, and you'll come back even stronger. Yeah, man. So, okay, yeah, they're about to cut me off again on this thing. I don't know how it got to this point. We used to just have it where we were running through, but once you come and sign back in, we will start the second part of our show, the second segment, and that's going to be very interesting because we're talking about failing at relationships. Going into this next segment, we want to talk about this situation close to my thought process, because it's funny how people are responding to it, and I think it's going to be a very explosive second half of the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, because this whole thing it showed a wide gap of how people really think, and I've been paying attention to it. So we're going to be talking about how when two people break up, how that money comes into play. If you had an estate or if you got some kind of like finances involved, and what this brother did, people applauded him, but at the same time, yeah, I somewhat did too. But yeah, okay.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Let's see. I'm gonna have to figure this out, man.
Yeah, I don't know why I went back to that shit.
I have no idea.
Excuse us, this is a brief intermission. Figuring out why Instagram is hating on niggas again. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
We're going through the motions and continuing to be as productive as possible. So how about you all out there? Can I ask? Has your relationship fired you? Have you fired others? Let us know.
All right, I'm back. So yeah, no, let's go to his thing.
Sure.
Yeah, let's see what that's all about, man.
Let's see. This one?
Well, go to the other one first. That one there, because that one, the other one is an update, and they're saying that it was, but this is the first thing that popped out. Okay.
So, excuse me. Wife of Moroccan soccer star loses divorce settlement as fortune is in his mother's name. I have no idea how to say this nigga's name.
Akraf
Hakimi.
Yep.
Is worth more than $70 million, but most of it is under his mother. The wife. Hold up. A little more. The wife of Paris Saint-Germain or Saint-Germain?
Mm-hmm. Saint-Germain.
Saint-Germain star Akraf Hakimi. Iba Abu, Jesus Christ.
Good job. You did it good. That was great.
Walked away from divorce court with nothing after leaving Hakimi's fortune was in his mother's name. Or after learning, Hakimi's fortune was in his mother's name. Abouk, 36, was seeking a divorce and half the wealth of the 24-year-old soccer player following his indictment by French prosecutors on rape charges back in March. Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
However, Hakimi, who hails from Morocco, has no properties or money under his name, as his fortune is all under his mother's name instead. Maybe he used to be a drug dealer.
That's what I thought, but I said, man, that's how the drug game was.
Yeah, maybe he used to be a drug dealer.
Yep.
Hakimi is estimated to be worth more than $70 million and makes $215,000 per week per Arab News. Court officials determined this after Abouk filed for divorce, telling her that even his PSG salary was registered under his mother. I mean, is there really much to say?
Right.
You know, good on him, man. When news came out that Hakimi had been indicted on rape charges, Abouk went on holiday with her 2 children in Dubai. It was later reported that she decided to want a divorce. I don't know who wrote this.
Yeah, a little ass backwards.
Hakimi and Abouk were married in February 2020. Hakimi was placed under
Go back up real quick.
Okay.
So for clarity's sake, guys, yes, they were married in 2020, but they had been together for 2 years before they got married. See, people don't understand that sometimes.
Yeah.
And, you know, people look at it, oh, shoot, they were only married 3 years. Yeah, but they were together prior to that. Mm-hmm. And that time when anybody is together is very crucial in understanding things. It's not just, oh, they were married for 3 years. No, they were together for 2 years prior to that.
So they got 5 years.
Yes, it's an investment any way you look at it. Sorry.
Absolutely. Hakimi was placed under judicial supervision in early March after a 23-year-old woman came forward accusing him of rape. A preliminary investigation was opened, though a report said the victim didn't press charges. Authorities kept the investigation going because of her testimony against Hakimi. The woman claimed that Hakimi raped her at his home in Paris. Hakimi played a crucial role in the historic run that Morocco made in the 2022 World Cup. In 7 matches, the defender had an assist. I don't watch soccer, so
neither do I.
He's also played with PSG the past 2 seasons, owning 8 goals and 9 assists. He has 4 goals and 3 assists in 24 matches this season. Sounds like baseball, where stats that low must be pretty fucking high.
Yeah, because soccer is a hard sport.
It's a big ass field.
It is. And it's one of the most famous sports in the world, actually. You know, they consider it real football.
Queen Sauce 716 says he was wise in protecting and securing his fortune.
Okay.
Asset protection.
Right. Okay. Nothing wrong with asset protection.
Nope.
I have questions though. And this is what, I mean, I've been getting blasted in some of these comments because I ask questions that are hard to answer.
Sure.
Like, yeah, okay, he got the scheme in, he did his thing, right? He protected his assets. But what if he had died? What if he had died before they got a divorce? Like, say for instance, everything, let's just talk about a different perspective.
Sure.
You know, they're together, they're still in love, and everything is working well. He's not accused of rape. He actually cheated on her several times as well. So it was building up. It was building up.
He has
He's
at least 4 goals in the last 24 games. Nigga. Of course he can cheat.
Right,
You know
right. And we're going to get into that as well. But but the thing is, no. The thing is that, because I'm always looking at kids, because that article said that they share 2 kids together.
Sure.
Right? So here's this woman. She's been with him since 5 years overall. 2018. Okay?
At the least.
Yes, she's an older chick, so obviously we know she was looking to not only just have some kids, but secure the bag, right?
Sure.
Why not somebody that, you know, young, good looking, healthy, got a bank, she's sexy. Right.
You know, I didn't even look at her, man. What does she look like?
No, she hot. Now well, you know, when we get into that,
Yeah,
you know, she's a Latin joint. She's hot. She's a model actress, and she's got her own bank. You know, she's got her own bank. My biggest question was, what if this fool had died? Like everything was good between them, and he died. Other than the life insurance policy she would get for her and the kids, because people think it. You gotta understand the reason why she came at him for wanting half. Usually when women do that is because they're spurned, they're hurt, they're angry. It has nothing to do with she needs that money. And I agree that she doesn't deserve that.
Other than lifestyle, you know, I can.
That's the other question.
You know, that plays a part.
That's the other question. She living a certain lifestyle. Remember, they call it holiday. They didn't say vacation.
Yeah.
The motherfucker said she was on holiday with the kids.
Right.
And so he was like, yeah, you take them kids. I'm going to go ahead and smash out all the chicks I can get at the house. Right? That was another thing that I was like, yo, don't bring your dirt in the house. Do your dirt, but don't bring the dirt in the house.
But to your question, we would have to assume, number one, that he does not have a will.
Right.
We have to assume that he doesn't have a trust in order to answer that question.
Right.
Because I think if the nigga was smart enough to be like, these bitches might get me for this bread, and we put it under my mama name.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, he may have a trust.
Okay.
He may, or, you know, whatever type of trust. There's plenty.
We can hope. But what if she hates his wife? Because maybe that was why. Because they said it was her idea. It was the mother's idea. It wasn't his idea. Because he was young.
Yeah.
And she's a very controlling Egyptian mama.
Well, they understand. I was about to say they understand asset protection in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so again, to that, I mean, 9 times out of 10, man, the motherfucker has a will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things in place. But if he doesn't,
right?
Let's say that he doesn't, and the money would just go directly back to his immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
70 million is a lot. But the broad has money, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's got money. She's got money.
The kids would be okay.
Right.
You know, maybe the house would be 2 or 3 rooms less.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know exactly what their situation is, man, but
because what if his mom said, you know what, fuck you, I never liked you anyway, and I don't even think
for that reason,
I don't even think them kids. Yeah,
right.
Fuck them kids. Right. That to me is a concern. You know what I mean? Because, you know, if you're banking on the mind of an individual, right, and we talk about women and how their emotions run their thought process, right?
Because no fury on woman scorn.
Right, and I mean because everybody's applauding. Yeah, your mom will love you more than. I know some horrible mamas.
Yeah,
I know some bad dealing mamas. Yeah. So for people to be like, yeah, your mom will protect you more than Remember that football player where his own mom sued him for $5 million? When it comes to money,
enough money.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. She wasted the money, came back and wanted more money. Like you supposed to give me money.
I wonder. I hope we never looked on the update on that, but I hope that nigga got his mom. I hope she got fraudulent.
His mom and his dad, bro.
Yeah. I hope they definitely got fraud or frivolous lawsuit charges.
Yeah.
You know.
So, with that being said, those are the main questions that I have. Like, I'm not in her corner like, yeah, bitch, get that money. No.
Overall, how does it affect the children?
Yeah, because that's, we talk about generational wealth. That's their money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
his mama,
unless he's insane, there's no way he could spend $70 million.
Yeah.
Passes.
Yeah. Or, I mean, what if his mama lose her mind and she start doing stuff with the money she ain't supposed to do?
Right.
That
well, as the person.
Snowfall.
That was awful.
Right.
As the person presiding over the trust, she can only do what it is that he's dictating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're in Morocco, so I don't know how trust
works there.
Works. I don't know. It may be the same. Don't get me started. There's a whole. We'll have a law fucking episode.
Yeah, we're planning on it. Yeah.
It's just, man, there's so much that kind of where we're almost getting into the point of alienation a little bit, man, because I don't think we have enough information really to break that down, but we can't be hypothetical. The kids are rich already.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money the mom made as a model and all of that shit, but would they go hungry? No.
Right.
The biggest thing would be that the father passed, and I don't know much about his mom, but there are a myriad of things, or there is a myriad of things that
could go wrong.
She could enact, on the wife and shit, man. I don't know. I don't think there's enough information present. At least not for me.
Yeah, I think, and this is what I've been telling people in the boards. Like, okay, cool, we can understand the chess move. That's great. We can applaud that, and it's great for men who have been dogged out.
I'm seeing what you're saying. For those who might be looking at this as a fix,
yes.
What else? Should you be setting in place?
Yeah, absolutely.
For contingency,
absolutely,
and to make it well rounded.
Absolutely.
You should not just go and put all of this in somebody's name and then just leave it at that. You definitely want to have other things set in place. She said, I would think there would be a secondary benefactor in the event his mother loses his mind, or her mind. Yeah.
Well, I mean, some guys look at their mamas as the queen of heaven. They don't feel like she would ever lose her mind. He's 20-something years old. He's still young.
I heard it said he was 30-something.
No,
she's older than him?
She's older than him.
Oh, well,
congratulations,
brother.
He got with her very young. And then people were saying, well, what is her worth? Why does she feel she need to have the right to receive half? Again, as I said, I don't believe she deserves half.
I don't believe that
anybody,
nearly any person, not just women, men or women splitting a divorce. I don't believe either person deserves half.
No,
unless they 100% built this business together.
Yes.
She played her part, he played his part, and they say, okay, let's split the assets.
Right. I mean, because if this woman is a great mother, that's to me what's important. If she's a great mom and she gave up her career and everything just to be a great mom, mind you, she was on holiday with the kids. It wasn't
he
him.
was adulterous. We don't know how she gets down personally, but we have enough information to know that this nigga was definitely adulterous.
Yeah, he was doing, but hey, that's neither here nor there. That's his choice. That's his choice.
Well, as far as marriage is concerned, legally though,
he got to deal with the repercussions of his actions.
He does have to deal with how they view that.
Because look what happened. He ended up now. He got a chick that he brought to the house. The chick know where the house is at. She know the moles on his penis. She can't deny.
She might take offense just even to the fact that the information got out.
Yeah.
So many different things. And I guess that is what plays into the focus of the relationship subject. He could have been a lot more tactful.
Yes.
Especially as a young man who was accomplished. He should have been a lot more tactful. Especially understanding, man, you got a huge public image that is essentially a business for you. You want to do everything that you can to protect that. Why? Because it doesn't just reflect upon you; it reflects on your family.
Yeah, especially your sons.
It reflects on how the world looks at your family. How is the rest of the world going to devalue your wife because you did?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's so much that goes along with that, man. You know, he should be a lot more discreet. If they can, are they getting divorced? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Who said that.
yeah, they're definitely getting divorced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
That's how it came up. She went to the court, found out he ain't got none.
Yeah.
Now, there's another article that we're about to go over.
But will she still divorce him, even though that is the case?
Yeah, she was done with him already. Yeah. She was done with him before the rape charges.
Yeah.
And before she found out he had brought that other chicken.
That just made it worse.
Yeah, that's what made her angry to where she's like, I want half.
She's like, now you really tripping right
now. Yeah, I'm getting half.
This, you know.
And to go into court and find out that, hey, he ain't got what you think he got. That in itself, though, I mean, honestly, too, to find that out.
Yeah.
You know, and what a lot of people in the boards have been saying, why not a prenuptial? What do you think about that?
That's the comment we just got.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Saw 716 says, the mama's old, though, and if they didn't build together, take what you came with, or a prenuptial agreement.
Okay.
Now, understand, prenuptial agreements can be
null and void,
mm-hmm. or nullified in court, mm-hmm. depending upon what the judge decides.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so although it is a contract between the two of you, still at the point that you take it to court, it's no longer in you guys' hands.
But this is the issue I have, because I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bleeding heart when it comes to families and kids. Her coming in and giving children, which is something like he can't go and fuck a cow and have kids.
Nope.
Does that give any value to her in that relationship?
That he chose her.
Yeah, to have his children, his seed.
Sure.
So
it should, but again, that's the issue with us being able to sit here and talk about his personal, his private affairs. He devalued that.
Yeah.
Because the world found out.
Yeah.
The world should not have found out.
Right.
Right. And also, I want to say this.
Okay.
Just really quick. Anybody listening, anyone who will hear this, anyone who does hear this, you are not the same as a fucking celebrity.
That's right.
Okay? The world does not know what you have going on.
That's right. It could care less.
Could care less.
Mm-hmm.
Or could not care less.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Make sure that you don't buy into the delusion that it is the exact same thing. It's very similar. And yeah, you should, both parties respect the union. But don't lose your mind thinking that your life, don't lose your mind thinking that your personal business
mm-hmm.
is at the same level as this,
mm-hmm.
and bring about unfair expectations
mm-hmm.
between you and your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Madness. No, it becomes madness because the thing is that, listen, why does it get to this point? Why did he fail? Why did she fail? What happened?
I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah. They
didn't like, subscribe, share, or comment on our fucking videos. That's really what the problem is. Go ahead.
Why did it get to that point where, you see these loving relationships, and obviously we only see what they show us.
Right.
But obviously there was something there for them to have 2 children, unless it was an agreement and an arrangement.
See, that's the thing. Again, and this is what media and tabloids and all of this shit is all about, is for people to speculate. Excuse me. But how could we know what it is that they're discussing privately? Because at the end of the day, as much as we all can go and read and look up XYZ,
mm-hmm.
they're still having conversations in private.
Mm-hmm.
People who've been together for a long time, they probably still fucking right now.
Yeah, right. That works for them.
Yeah, you know what I mean, man. There's so many different things associated with that. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the fix for all of this was, number one, nigga, be more tactful,
mm-hmm.
be more protective of your own family, of your own public image.
Yeah.
Because you represent them just mm-hmm. as much as they represent you.
Mm-hmm. Communicate. Do you think men should communicate to women in the very early beginnings of a relationship, whether it's just through a living boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, that there are other options that they may want to explore?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even if they do decide on a monogamous relationship, still be willing to say, I look, you know, maybe I look at other bitches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Or vice versa for the women.
Yeah, same wise. Or same wise.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise.
Likewise. Mm-hmm.
You know, be willing to have any conversation. That's why I said I think that patience is the most important thing.
True.
Without patience, you'll never even have time to communicate.
Yeah.
You know, being able to have that conversation,
Mm-hmm.
that's a tough conversation for a lot of people, man.
But remember,
People,
we had a show talking about that, and Brandon had.
Yeah. A lot of people don't even talk about any of that shit before they ever even end up having sex.
They don't even talk about kids either, or
Nope.
what they're building towards.
Nope.
See, so you have to understand relationships. All relationships are building towards something. You don't just idly jump into relationships or interactions with people and just take it willy-nilly, you know?
Queen Sauce 716 says if he was a real man, he would continue to provide because of the kids.
Well, he ain't got nothing. It's all in the mama's name. So this is the thing. This is the other question that I had. Because like I said, there's questions. I mean, yeah, we can applaud him. I had no problem with that. Like, yo, that's a player move.
Asset protection. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's a player move. You know, like, I grew up in the hood. I knew cats that they were in the drug game and everything was in their mama name or their sister name or somebody else's name. That's a hood thing. So it's like, why are y'all shocked about that? Like, he was just
Well, it's not even a hood thing. It's just asset protection.
Well,
white people
all the time. Yeah, all the time. No different than putting something that came in our
It's a business thing.
Absolutely. The thing that I had another question about was, you know, okay, you got to go to mama for everything. For me as a man, I don't
he probably doesn't really have to go to her for everything, but it's in her name because that protects him.
Yeah,
it protects him. You know, it's the same as people who create legal churches.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mm-hmm.
It's just another form of asset protection.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know, you know, we'll have a finance episode.
Yeah,
Eventually, we're getting to it.
Yeah.
But asset protection comes in so many different forms.
Mm-hmm.
These evil white people that wrote all of these books and shit, man. As high as Roman law,
mm-hmm.
you know, they understood asset protection.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because they're greedy,
mm-hmm.
but they understood asset protection.
They don't want to lose what they got. Yeah.
And
but is that really?
Well, it's dynasty and legacy,
mm-hmm.
right? It's heraldry. So many different things play into that. And really, the unfortunate part is that today most of us don't know anything about it.
Right. Because we don't think we have anything. That's part of it. You know, we're always telling ourselves, I ain't got nothing. You know, you got a lot more than you realize sometimes.
Absolutely. There is value to be found in just about anything that you have. But we don't have, you know, that's not this episode. We'll talk about finance another time. But what is it? Did I already read that? He should have, Queen Sauce 716 said he should have followed Christian Grey, make them sign a non-disclosure agreement. Sure. You can do that with your wife.
And I've seen people break those too. I mean, you know, any contract can be broken. I learned that in Los Angeles as being in the film industry.
Well, because everyone has the right to contract. You can opt out of any contract at any point in time, even if it says you can't.
Right. You know, which is why lawyers make a lot of money.
It can be deemed unethical.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Of course. The court will come at you hard with that. Because ethics is a huge part of the legal system, even when they don't follow it. Right. Let's read the second article.
Yeah.
Because now that, you know, that came out
about asset protection guys.
Right. Something else has developed in the past couple of hours where they're saying that transferring assets to the mother are fake. Now, this is the Morocco World News, so this is a break on them and their page talking about it.
Oh, yeah, she is straight.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
yeah. You know.
I get it.
You know, he looked just like his mama.
That's hella funny. That nigga got his mom's kid.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, that was the thing I was going to say. Something happened to the mom, I guess, to his wife. The mom going to take care of him? The kids?
True.
Because he's out there, you know, running the field, literally.
And you know, I don't know what it is. I don't even know if his dad is still alive.
Well, that's a good question.
Are they together?
Yeah.
Then that will somewhat say a lot about his mom and his dad.
Yeah.
That relationship.
Interesting.
That may be indicative of his behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Or it may confirm his behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, let's see. French journalist News of Hakimi transferring assets to mother are fake. French journalist Gilles Verdez stressed that it wouldn't be possible for Hakimi to put the property in his mother's name.
Mm.
How wouldn't it be possible?
Right, let's see what this is all about.
Rabat, whatever the fuck that means. While Morocco's star football player, they calling it football, Achraf Hakimi is in the process of filing for divorce from Tunisian actress Hiba Abouk. The rumors circulating online indicating that he has long transferred his assets to his mother to escape losing half of them in a divorce are taking the internet by storm. French journalist and sports reporter Gilles Verdez. Is this nigga French?
He's French.
Alright.
Yes.
Spoke out against the rumors, stressing that they are fake news. In a report from French media, Le 10 Sport, that's funny. Le 10 Sport, Verdez said that the rumors are not true, adding that while it is true Hakimi has a fortune of 70 million euros, is that euros or?
It must be, that's euros.
That's a C.
Yeah, that's euros.
I thought the euros was an E.
That is the E.
Is it euros?
It got the 2 lines in it. That's euros.
Yeah, he's French. 70 million. Abouk also has 3 million. Oh, you see? Them kids would be fucking fine. But it's not true that he put the property in his mother's name. That wouldn't be possible, the reporter said. Not in Spain, not in Morocco, not in France. Is that a thing?
Interesting. Uh-oh.
But it's not true that he put the property in his mother's name. That wouldn't be possible, the reporter said. Not in Spain, not in Morocco, not in France. According to Omar El Adlouni, whatever, a professor at French University, Jesus, La Sorbonne. The allegations are, French language is so fucking ugly. If you don't know. Anyway.
I think German is worse. German.
Think so?
Yeah, it's so harsh.
Nah, you know what's worse? It's fucking Dutch, nigga.
Dutch?
Dutch is an ugly ass language. At least the written form of it is ugly shit. According to Omar El Adlouni, did I say that right? A professor at French University, La Sorbonne, the allegations are impossible from a legal point of view, in addition to being fake news. In a LinkedIn post, El Adlouni denounced the rumors, explaining that under current laws regulating marriages in Europe, spouses cannot transfer wealth to escape splitting assets in case of a divorce, as that is considered a criminal act punishable by law. Didn't he allegedly do this far before he was married?
There was no clarity on that.
Yeah. If he did that far before, I don't think that that's considered a form of evasion.
Right.
Because that's essentially what they're getting at.
Yeah, evade the divorce.
Yeah.
He was just doing it as
it was already set in place.
Yes.
Yeah, if it was already set in place, it was already set in place. But I don't know. I'm not a fucking lawyer.
Right.
Anyway, as that is considered a criminal act punishable by law, which that would be some form of evasion, right? Under the defaults, laws governing marriages in the majority of European countries, including France, Spain, Germany, and Italy, where Hakimi has resided for the last 10 years, everything acquired during the marriage by one of the spouses is shared in case of divorce. That's crazy.
Now that's see. So if he had the
even if it was, unless it was being paid directly to his mother, if any of the shit was in his name and then it had to be transferred to his mom because that's just what he had been doing, that could be considered fraud, evasion of splitting assets or whatever.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they about to dig in this nigga pockets. They about to dip in his cheese for real.
Because people don't really like to hear that you get. I mean, it's no fault. We want you to have the money, but we really don't want you to have the money.
Damn, I'm gonna read that part one more time. Under the defaults laws governing marriages in the majority of European countries, including France, Spain, Germany, and Italy, where Hakimi has resided for the last 10 years, everything acquired during the marriage by one of the spouses is shared in case of divorce. El Adlouni, so they're like, y'all niggas, you get married, you better stay married.
Yep.
Should Hakimi and his wife choose to keep their assets separate during their marriage, the law dictates that they sign a contract to this effect, which would essentially be the prenup, I'm assuming. However, his wife would have known, as both of them would have signed the contract in front of a notary, and he would not have needed to transfer any assets to his mother, El Adlouni explained. Oh boy, they about to get my nigga, bro. Yeah. They about to get him. Noting the legal implications of a wealth transfer, the professor explained that if Hakimi had indeed chosen to transfer his assets to his mother before the divorce, his wife would have had to know. Shit. Damn, nigga. And he would pay up to 45% in taxes, a significant amount of money considering his fortune. Listen, nigga, if you out there listening, god damn.
They should have did a little more work.
Americans, y'all think, I thought we had it bad. I guess not, nigga.
Yeah.
I thought we had it bad. That's
we're talking about cultures that value.
They value, they value legacy.
Family, legacy. You talk about that all the time, man.
Absolutely.
Generational wealth, the importance of that. You know, here in America, we about self. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta get this Lamborghini now. Well, what about your kids? Aren't they supposed to be in private school? Fuck them kids.
God damn. Damn, that's cold. I'm gonna read that again.
Yeah.
Nigga. His ass is got. I'm sorry. Noting the legal implications of a wealth transfer, the professor explained that if Hakimi had indeed chosen to transfer his assets to his mother before the divorce, his wife would have had to know, and he would pay up to 45% in taxes, a significant amount of money considering his fortune. Mm-hmm. Nigga, that's a significant amount of money no matter how much you make.
It don't matter.
That's almost 50%.
Almost 50%, half.
God damn.
Mm-hmm.
In case he decided to make the transfer after the filing of the divorce, he would be liable to 5 years in prison and a $75,000,
euro
fine. He added.
So they gonna get him irregardless. They're like, they're telling him,
y'all
like,
niggas gonna stay married, man.
You either gonna give us some money or you gonna give her some money.
Right.
Somebody get some money.
They about to dip in this.
It's a straight snowfall. It's a straight snowfall. It really is that snowfall situation. Like, Franklin, listen, we know you ain't getting none of it, but we can give you 35. We give you half.
Yeah, fuck
you half. You want half? You know what I'm saying?
Damn, that's insane.
Yeah, he's stuck.
Shit. In case he decided to make the transfer after the filing of the divorce, he would be liable to 5 years in prison and a $75,000 fine, he added. In the wake of the rumors, Hakimi's mother, Saida
Yes.
Whatever, Moo.
Can't help you.
Said that she was not aware of any transfer of her son's assets. Now, she could be being a gangster right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Pleading the fifth.
Right.
I don't know. If he has taken any action to protect himself, what do we say? Asset protection. So, knowing that they know about that. If he has taken any action to protect himself, I'm unaware of it, she said. While the rumors started circulating on social media, Spanish news outlet Marca reported on Friday, April 14th, that a book was demanding half of Hakimi's assets when she reportedly discovered that he had nothing to his name. Oh, so she knows the law. She about to fight for that shit.
Yeah.
So she know that she could fuck him right now.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe and really according to their law, that's not even fucking them. That's just following the law. I thought it was bad over here, nigga. God damn.
Yeah.
You can't do shit in the
Hakimi's mother, my son didn't inform me of fortune transfer.
Yep.
So she's deniability.
That's what I'm saying. She would be pleading the fifth. I get it.
I don't know what you're talking about. And she probably always knew that would be where she'd be pushed in that corner to be able to say it. Like, I don't...
Possibly.
I don't know nothing about it. But in order for that to happen, she would have to have signed papers.
Yeah, true.
Nobody can transfer something in your name without you knowing.
True.
Right? Because if he needed to go and get something, he's got to go to her and say, hey, I need to get this amount out. If he did do it.
Unless they have a card or,
I
don't know. Damn.
What is this all about? Why are we using
what a huge nigga revelation here. God
why are
damn.
we using this as an example? Because the thing is you see the differences in the relationships. Why is it? Because even when it comes to mother-in-law or daughter, a lot of times you see that relationship can be strained, right? And if she's you scroll up, there's a photo of him and his mom. If you scroll up.
Oh yeah.
Right underneath it, where it said fake news. Not that one, because there's one where she got him.
It's in here.
Yeah, slow. Go right down, about right there. When the mama kisses.
Oh yeah.
It's like look at that ring on her finger. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing is like, mama, he ain't yours when he's off to another woman.
No, he's not.
He's not yours.
Not in any under any religion.
under any religion, he is not yours. That man belongs to another woman. He can always be there for you. You hope that he would be, and he'd follow that, but he's not yours.
That's insane.
You know what I'm saying? And so in relationships with that can be a problem as well, because maybe his mom wasn't correcting him and reproving him. Like, look,
right.
You married now. You don't need to be messing with these other hoes out here. You know, you got 2 kids.
Wait, Morocco's under European law? That's Africa. You got a bitch. Yeah, you know what?
I'm just saying.
South Africa's the queens.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. You know,
Ain't that a bitch?
Ain't nothing changed. You know,
it's all good.
That law, that rule of the law, still exists.
You know.
Yeah, listen, man. This brother better wake up.
Man, I feel.
And these other brothers out here looking at that, they're good. Like I said, you're gonna applaud the chess move,
that nigga
but you better
pay for U.S. citizenship.
Yeah, you better understand the depth of that chess move. Man, you know what I mean? Because this society is built and geared towards women. Yeah, it's not built and geared towards men.
Which is kind of what the function and utility of men is, outside of just creation and advancing humankind. It is primarily our job to provide and protect the woman, because she nurtures the earth.
That's right. And your lineage. She brings it forth. So you seed it, but she brings it forth. Yeah. And that's important for people to understand. So in this type of scenario, we're using this ideology of what this story is about to help people to understand that could this be prevented? What do you think? Do you think that could have been prevented between those two?
If they had some conversations. And you know what? Maybe they did have conversations. And unfortunately, the information got out again. For most women, it's really the humiliation and embarrassment of other people finding out.
Absolutely, that you're not in their mind. They feel like they're not enough or they're not good enough. Yeah, and that hurts. I'll tell you this about. I mean, look, Vanessa Williams got cheated on twice by 2 rough-looking men. I mean, what's his name? Rick Fox wasn't an ugly guy. But the other guy that, it was just like, what? And for that to happen publicly, you know what I mean? See, Halle Berry was always one that switch it around.
Well, all of that is, it's at a much higher level than the average person.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And so understand when I'm talking about this, I'm more so speaking to people who, where the world is somewhat covering their lives. You know what I mean? So that being the case, man, they may have had an agreement where, nigga, don't bring that kind of attention on us. Yeah, don't fucking embarrass me. Yeah. And I think that's fair. You know what I'm saying? If they had the conversation, they may have never had the conversation, right. And this could be as much of a shock to her as it was to anybody else. Which, in my opinion, is even more dangerous. Even more insidious. And honestly, all jokes aside, because there's funny and ha-has associated with this, but he earned this. True. If he didn't educate himself on what the laws were,
or even how to deal with his household affairs,
and what jurisdiction he's under, and how to better operate in this world, man, especially being a celebrity.
Well, I would think
you asked for.
I would think she's a woman, man, who kind of knows who she is and what she got going on.
Well, she's an older motherfucker, man.
And she's beautiful, and she got fucking country behind her. And then you got granted
$1 million, but whatever.
Well, yeah, but granted, he's a good-looking dude. He's so, and he pursued her.
Sure.
She wasn't thinking about him until he came, but she probably had him in the back of her mind, like, yeah.
I'm sure she knew which options she had available. Yeah. Which is wealthier men.
Yeah. Wealthier men, younger men who are, of some kind of standard or substance.
Personage. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that with some older women can have a lot of men still.
Yeah, sure.
If
she's attractive, I
right. Yeah, she's one of those. it's kind of like in my day, Sophia Loren as a European white woman that black guys would be like they stand for. But she might have had options. You know what I mean? And he didn't realize like, yo, man, I need to be upfront with her and let her know. Like, so then why even get married? That's my question. You know what I mean?
Well,
why even get married?
Even as you said, man, could it have been avoided? Is really a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could have been avoided.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if they're not having these conversations, man. This is just surface information. I'm not saying that I know anything outside of what we're all able to see here, man. But conversations are important.
Mm-hmm.
As difficult as they may be, those conversations are important, and you gotta have the patience to really sit down. If it's somebody you say that you really rock with and you really fuck with them, man, you better be willing to sit down and have those conversations.
Yeah.
You better be willing to sit down and have those conversations, because the unknown and uncertainty is really poisonous between people.
Mm-hmm.
Very poisonous between people.
Do you believe in people growing from the separation? Like, say for instance, you're close with someone, you cut each other off, you go off, you learn, you come back, and you grow again together. Is that a possibility? Is that something you believe in?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Time away, and the distance necessarily doesn't matter, but time away, time heals a lot of things.
And teaches.
Yeah, a lot. They can go out in the world and just understand that the grass wasn't all that green.
Right.
I don't think that's necessarily growth.
Mm-hmm.
That's I thought I thought it was a snow day out in this motherfucker, and my bad.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a snow day for you either. All right.
Right.
I guess we'll figure something out.
Right.
It could be as simple as that, and I think that's ego breaking. Really, is what that is.
I say that a lot to people because when I hear like 20 or 25-year marriages and the people are deciding maybe they want to split off from each other and move to other things.
Yeah.
I say a lot to them, there's nothing out there. The dating game has changed.
The shit that you guys are used to is not even available.
Yeah.
It's not available.
It's not available.
Especially between generations. Mm-hmm. Maybe you want to relax.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you want to rethink your options and rethink the situation. Is it that serious that this is something? Because a lot of times it's just they call it like the 7-year itch, the 30-year itch. People feel like, okay, I'm tired of this routine, because relationships of all kinds are based on routine.
Very monotonous.
Very monotonous, and it's up to the individual to bring in the energy to take it to another level.
Yeah, you gotta, bring a party hat into the bedroom.
Sure. Or even in just basic friendship. If you find yourself, which is why it's important to have friendship outside of the commonality that you have, right? So in essence,
and I'm glad you said friendship. Not, a lot of people think they got to go be individuals outside of the marriage or the relationship, and that's not necessarily true. Just, keep being who you were already.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. Keep being who you were already, and we talk about compromise. And I love quoting Patrice O'Neill. He said compromise is the concept that we all believe is two people in a room and one of them is actually miserable.
that's
right.
Yeah, right.
And that's a terrible way to think about. Mm-hmm. That's a terrible way to conceptualize compromise. Mm-hmm. So what it really is, and we've said it already plenty of times this show alone, but compromise is with yourself. It's not with the other person. Mm-hmm. You're deciding. Oh, I don't know what bitches do. You like to watch whatever this dumbass show is. Mm-hmm. I'm going to compromise with you to sit down and watch this show because I know that you like it. Mm-hmm. Well, now you're miserable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Because you can't hold yourself accountable in that situation and saying, no, actually, I decided to sit down and watch this with you because I fuck with you. So let me go ahead and actually bite the bullet. Mm-hmm. Really bite the bullet.
Sure.
Sure. Now the compromise with yourself, you haven't actually bent.
There you go.
And you said I fuck with you, so you know what I'm gonna do.
And even in that regard, you may find. I'll give you a prime example. So, I worked at Kroger for many years, and
Shout out to Kroger.
Yeah, shout out to Kroger. And I went from being, a bag boy to a cashier, from cashier to working frozen food, and then finally stock. Which I like that job. It was a night job, but stock. And one of the boys there was a white dude, man. He listened to this music that people at that time loved, but I was very much into R&B and hip hop. If anything, I was into dance music too. Yeah. That was like as far as I go. Maybe some country, but I was like, this shit is progressive. It's called progressive rock, but the group was called the Smiths, and he played it. It was his space. He was the ship captain.
His job.
So I had to listen to that music, and I couldn't go and play what I wanted to play. Because so that was what I had to compromise with myself. I ended up liking the music after time. Sure. To this day, I still listen to it.
As they say, people learn to love one another.
Yeah.
You don't start off loving one another. You don't start off in this. You don't start off in this. This jumping up and down.
Where everything's perfect for you.
Ferris wheels and pixie sticks and lollipops and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's two people figuring each other out. Mm-hmm. And if you decide to do that with somebody, nigga, that comes with a lot of patience and conversation.
But that's the true love. The true love is like, I'm willing to move down this path to see. Like, listen, man. Like I said, this weekend is awesome, man. I got to see people who, some of them drove 2 hours just to see me. You know what I mean? I drove to, if you know anything about me, I don't drive. Antonio's the driver. He's the one. He enjoys the trips.
Will man.
Yeah, but for me, it's like, I made the sacrifice to do what was needed because I love.
Sure.
And so to see people, one of my students came all the way from one area to another. It took him longer to drive to see me than it was to sit and talk. And that's love.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing, man, to know that that's there in your life, that you have that. But it's reciprocal, guys. You got to know it's got to be reciprocated. It can't be one-sided. It can't be, this person's doing for me, and you're not doing back.
Yeah.
Even if it's a phone call somebody just to see how they're doing, and nothing has to be planned from that. Nope, just calling to check on you. I don't want anything.
Sure.
Don't need anything. I thought about you, and I've learned to practice that. If you think about somebody, reach out to them.
Yeah.
Right now, just, once the show's over, pick up the call.
You gotta say nothing crazy, man. Just, I thought about you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And I'm just checking in, just seeing how you doing.
So, to all of this, I want us to, we're both going to answer these two questions to close out the show.
Sure.
All right. What makes you bad at relationships?
Oh.
You personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm loving to answer that one. Expectation. I have expectations, and I'm still dealing with that because what I've learned is me personally as somebody who loves, because I'm an empath and I'm an extremist and I'm a control freak. Like all those things they can be gifts, but they're also curses if you can't control them. Is that I have expectations on people. I put expectations on people. I'm like, well, look, I'm coming in head first, 100%. Here I am. I expect you to do that. And that's the wrong way to do anything in life. Not just in a relationship, but anything. Here's all my money. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. And but that's part of being an extremist, and I have to keep that in check, man. And I'll catch myself in situations like that situation recently. It was just, I love you. I'm willing to jump in front of a bullet for you. Well, that don't mean that person is.
Yeah.
And if they did, it may not be for you. Right. So you have to be okay with that.
Are you okay with that?
Are you okay with that?
You can't know if there was no conversation.
Yeah. And it's, are you okay with that? Because that can hurt you. Okay. In a sense of it's not reciprocated. So we all have to understand what we base love on and what we base reciprocation on. Okay. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, for me, what makes me bad in relationships, I go through spells because I'm very cerebral, and not even just for introspection. Sometimes I really just want to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
And when I want to be alone, I can come off as very callous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very callous, very distant. There is no energy
Mm-hmm.
for anyone but me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that those who interact with me on a daily basis can feel that when I don't want to be bothered.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like damn, this nigga think I'm dead right now. So, you know, like I'm dead to him or something. You know, that is something that is very often been misunderstood over the years for me in relationships, whether that be friendship, romantic, familial, whatever. You know, so that I think that's one of the worst qualities for me that I have in a relationship.
Well, I'll be honest with you, man. Very early on, even with me, you, and Eric as our, you know, Three Musketeer type of friendship, man, I saw that. And I was like, oh, okay, that's how that is. Cool. No worries.
Yeah.
But everybody ain't me.
Everybody cannot see that.
Yeah, he didn't.
They take it a little bit personal.
He didn't have that same perspective.
It's like, nah, I'm not taking it. You know, it's not personal, nigga. I just...
you know.
This is me right now.
Yeah. But that's part...
I'll tell you where that came from, though. Because it hasn't always been that way, but it got really strong after my car accident. Because, nigga, when I'm sitting there, you can literally see my brain beating and pulsating and you know, in my scar, you know, in the cut when it was open. Motherfuckers are still calling me with the, man, I need to vent right now. Not, hey, man, I know you, you know what I'm saying? I know you flew off the overpass and all of that shit, man. You know, are you all right? All right, cool. Well, you know, if you don't mind, I would have taken that much better. So that's where that developed, man. And I understood that it was very necessary for me to devote some of my energy to myself. Because when I'm done with that, I have so much more to offer the relationship.
You can be fully you.
Yeah, I have so much more to offer the relationship.
I agree. Yeah, I understand that for sure.
Anyway, so next, the last question before we get up out of here: what makes you great in relationships?
Recognizing the greatness in others.
Sure.
And promoting that. I love it. I mean, listen, man. I don't know. Y'all have to tell me, but we have maybe 30 people come through the park on Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's in itself.
That was
love, man, love, and just, you know, you bounce off each other. 5 minutes talking to this person, somebody come and grab you, and you know that type of interaction.
That's old school too.
It's very old school, and not even needing any adulation. Just it's good to see you. Yeah. Because some of
that's where motherfuckers will pull up. Hey man, you know, I'm on my way to work, but
I gotta see
man, nigga, I had to see you.
I had to see you.
I had to see you.
Because we ain't really talking about much. We already been talking on the phone, but that physical,
face to face, man, the energy exchange is everything.
Man, so for me, because you know, I played acting coach, daddy. And, you know, why you ain't handling your Instagram? Why you not, you know, and get, you know, charging.
Right.
Charging them. I used the word too. I was like, I charge you guys. Y'all not meeting up with each other. What's going on with that? Well, you were the glue. What?
I can't be the glue.
Right.
I'm not here.
Right. Y'all get together and offer me something.
Y'all gotta create new glue, nigga.
So yeah, but recognizing the greatness in others and promoting that.
No, that's powerful.
It is, and for me, I enjoy it because I love seeing people who deserve receive.
Sure.
You know.
So mine's very similar to you. What makes me great in relationships? Very similar, and maybe I just worded a little different, but what makes me great in relationships, man? Friendship, romantic, family members, even business. I treat people as they can be, not as they are.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand what that means, man, you know, here comes that word again. I recognize the greatness in them and I charge them with that. Now, if they communicate to me that, hey, man, you know, I could be an architect, nigga, but fuck that. I don't want to do that. Yeah. Okay, you know, I can accept that and I'll leave them the fuck alone. But if there's never that, you know, because it is scaring people away. And to me, that's also a good thing, too. Because that means we can't really, you know, maybe we don't need to be around each other when I'm, you know, because I'm thinking about going up right now. And I want you to go. I want you to be your best self. It's very difficult to be around people that don't want to be their best selves or their best selves. But when you're treating them like that and they start to see it, man, it builds a hell of a bond, and it builds a great trust.
Oh yeah.
So it's a deterrent and what the hell is the word? A magnet. So I think that's what makes me great in relationships, is I will always treat people as they can be, not as they are. So
yeah, I've seen it. I've been witness to it.
Absolutely.
So, love you for that.
Love you too, man.
Yeah, guys, I hope y'all learned a lot, and I hope we ended it off with some great information that could help you. We a lot of times our titles or headlines of our shows is something just to evoke something.
Emotion.
Yeah. But we really do want to help people, and we know that you guys miss us when we're not here conversing. We just got people filing in and stuff, and we'll be more consistent. It is for us to be able to go out and do things, and
it's been a busy couple of weeks, man.
It has.
Really, this last month has been a little heavy.
Especially we had a lot of guys. We're dealing in the South. You're dealing with a lot of pollen, so that the pollen season is diminishing, but still
a little bit.
Stuff in the air, man.
But yeah, man, just y'all, man, love each other better, man. Let's have patience so that you can communicate. You gotta have patience, man. Sit down and have them tough conversations. Nigga, if y'all gotta cry and if y'all gotta lock the door and hit the wall, don't hit each other. But keep having the conversation, man, until it feels good, because people learn. We all learn to love one another. You don't just outright love anybody.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, for me, what I've learned to keep as a gauge, because it was very prominent this weekend, if there's people in your life that when you see them, you don't smile at least once, you need to question that.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't seen him in maybe 6 days, and the first thing that I did was smile when I saw him.
Yeah.
Because that's how people really make you feel inside. That person, evokes that. Hey, it's not an emotional thing. It's a thing of like, man, I've made it this far to where I can see you again. It's a great thing, man.
It's important.
Very important.
Why? Because every day ain't promised.
Nope.
So always say when you do communicate, regardless of how upset or how emotional you are in that moment, make sure that you say exactly what it is that you mean. Even if it goes against the hate that you're feeling in that moment. Still say first, I love you to death, man. Whatever that is. Now you can go, but you bitch ass nigga, you know what I'm saying, nigga? You shouldn't have did that shit that you did, or whatever it is.
Foul.
Whatever it is. But first, say what it is that you truly feel about that person. Not just what you feel in that moment of,
because that's just emotional.
Haste.
That's emotional.
And it's understandable to be human and be emotional, but give that person grace, give yourself grace with patience. Say what it is that you mean first. So, all right, man.
All right, guys. We will be back Thursday. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some madness happening between here and there. So we'll have a great show on Thursday. This was a great show tonight. Welcome us back. We love you guys. Don't forget to hit us on our link tree and see about helping us in any capacity. We would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, we will. Other cameras, some shit. Welcome in. We about to bounce down. Thank everybody for showing up, man. We'll get back with y'all on Thursday.
All right. No doubt.
Muscles on his lonely back. I stay calm and fact. I've been on.
What's up, Jay? How you been?
Call me that. Please keep it short. I don't speak for all the rap. I'm your mechanic. I don't want no parts of whack. Keep throwing darts at wax. I'll melt you. Every beat got a birthday. I just make it special. If you came to wrestle, maybe we can do that. Just have me bring the doses and show you where your shoes at. Exactly where the proof at. I ain't gotta prove stats. I don't need to look up. I've been staying good black. Straight from where the news at. Lifestyle showdown. Story I survived. Made a lot of most down. Hey, what I wrote down. I'm campus.
What's up, Janessa?
Asking why he smashing shit. I'm just practicing so I can get it in when it's out. Ain't no accident. Muscles on his lonely back. I stay calm and fact.